the video starts, I did want to say I did forget to mention magazines. This is going to be a pretty straightforward thing. If you check the links, instead of me just giving off, I feel like I should have explained the magazines ones because I feel like not many people mention magazines. Sorry if I'm shaky. I hate having to hold up my phone for these. So yeah, don't mind the clock. I'm sitting on the kitchen counter for this. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna check the link description down below, or if you guys check the description, I'm putting a list of the magazines that you guys can get. I advise getting. Because who knows, you guys may like this, or you may not. I don't give a fuck. It's all whatever you want. Sorry, it's kind of cold here. So yeah, check the description for magazines, bobbleheads, all of that. I do recommend getting all the bobbleheads, all the special bobbleheads, and then all of the, yeah, I guess all the bobbleheads except for the, ones that affect, fighting in some way, like melee, unarmed, big guns. That type of stuff. So yeah, with that being said, enjoy the video. Alright, what is up guys? Loser Manic here, and welcome to a Fallout 4 build. Now you have to mind the noise in the background. I have dogs over here. So if you guys hear like footsteps, just know there's a dog here. I have no control over this. This ain't my house. I'm temporarily living here for the time being. So yeah. Occasionally I'll just turn this stuff on and off. Probably to if you guys see me looking over, I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to make sure no one finds out that I'm doing this because I get nervous. So yeah. Excuse the noise in the background. Welcome. And sorry if it's echoey. Welcome to a Fallout 4 build. So, bit of a confession. I've never done this character before. So yeah. And the reason that is because this is a Commando character. I usually find that with certain, I don't know if you guys are the same way. I find that whenever I do certain characters that use certain weapons, I don't play them as much as I should. That's why I've stopped using that. That's why I've deleted multiple characters that use automatics and 44 pistols. At least now I know. At least before I knew that, Eleanor is the best place to get a good supply of ammunition. But plus, I always find that a lot of Commando builds aren't good. So yeah, I do have proper paper this time. As you guys can see, this is the list of perks needed. I will say one thing though, whenever I was coming up with this list, close to the end of the build, like maybe in the 40s, mid 40s, I didn't really have any perks, so feel free to swap this around a bit. Some of these do deserve to be beginning of the game, but I just figured have them end game. Also, if you guys know of different replacements or whatnot, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. So this, I'm going to do things a bit differently. Usually with certain, or mostly with people like Fudge Muppet, what they do is, excuse the squeaky chair. Mostly with people like Fudge Muppet, what they would do is they would, go through every single, what is it? They would go through like level 2 to level 50, explain like, okay, level 5 has gun nut 2. I doubt you don't get that level 5, but you guys get the point. So I'm not doing that. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you guys all of the rank 1 perks, or the perks that you get at rank 1, and you go to the fullest. I don't know about Fortune Finder and Scrounger because I'm not really a big fan of Fortune Finder 5, and I can't remember for Scrounger 5. So, or I don't like Fortune Finder 4 and Scrounger 4. I can't remember. So Yeah. So yeah, special stats. Let's go over that. This is also one I've been contemplating the most. Fun fact about me, I actually love powerful characters, so I did try to make this powerful. If I somehow made it weaker, let me know. I can probably fix it up in the near future. But yeah, this isn't permanent. I don't want you guys thinking like this is a permanent thing. If there are some things you would change up, make better. I like making the best characters. Now this is an endurance heavy. This isn't a tank, but this is, I would say this is like a sort of medium tank, I guess. So yeah, the special stats are 3 strength, 3 perception, 9 endurance, 2 charisma, 7 intelligence, 2 agility, and 2 luck. The special book in Sanctuary will be used on endurance, bringing that shit up to 10. And that's that. So here are the following perks you will need. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering, this character starts with the railroad. I figured, a lot of you guys may know how much I love the railroad, so I figured it would. I thought, why not for like my first Fallout 4 character, make it a railroad character. Although you could just make this, you can make this work with any faction except the Minutemen. I'll go over why in a moment. Actually, I'll go over that now. The reason I don't like, the reason why this character doesn't side with the Minutemen is because I figure if you're gonna side with the Minutemen, I feel like you should build settlements. Because that's what they're all about. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like that's something we need to have, So, and I do have an idea for a Minutemen General. That is coming very soon, so be on the lookout for that. So, oh my god, this lighting is making me more uglier. How does lighting make me look uglier? I don't know. Also, if you guys hear banging on the side, they're working on the house next door. So that's about it. So yeah, so the following perks you're gonna need, and I'll kind of explain why, is Fortune Finder. Now the reason you need Fortune Finder is because you need to buy the ammunition. I don't know about you guys, but that's my biggest problem with I have with Commando. It's proper ammunition usage. Yeah, also, if you check the link in the description down below, or if you check the description below, I'll have all of the perks listed. This is kind of how it was set up on my phone. I don't have a backstory for this character yet. Hopefully by the time I'm done with this, I'll clean up everything, kind of decide what I want. So maybe one of the perks in here may not be in the description. If it's not, then just follow it how I made it. So yeah. So yeah, Fortune Finder, because you need to get more caps for more ammunition, or to buy more ammunition to keep yourself steady, to keep a steady supply of weapons, or a steady supply of ammunition for your weapons. I don't know. Personally, whenever I never realized how difficult it is to have Sorry. I never realized how difficult it was to keep a steady supply of automatic ammunition until I did Fudge Muppet's Nuka World Overboss build, which is so fun. But I never really realized how difficult it is to keep ammunition on a steady supply. So yeah, next is Scrounger. Same reason as before with Fortune Finder, except you don't waste a lot of time trying to go through and open, or you won't have to spend time looking for vendors, because if anything, they're probably out of stock by then and you could just wait, but who has time for waiting, Yeah, next is the cream of the crop with this character. That's not how the saying works, but you guys get the point. Commando. Pretty straightforward. Next is a level 2 charisma. Like I mentioned before, you have 2 charisma, making it 3. With this, it will make it 3. So you can get the Lone Wanderer perk, which is in here. This one's going to stay throughout. And the reason is because that kind of adds more to your character. Now, there are certain things that we'll add on here. For one of these, you don't go all the way up to you don't get all of the ranks of the character or of the perk. But I think with Lone Wanderer, you do need, I think some of these you do need DLCs for to get the max Lone Wanderers. So if you guys don't have those, then whatever, you know. But if you do have those, definitely use those, because it'll help you out plenty. Actually, what I can do real quick, I have thought about this, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to. So let me change this real quick to... Let me get rid of that. Alright. So yeah, I had to change some stuff up right on the spot. So yeah, next is obviously Gun Nut. The reason is because we want to make our character's weapons powerful and strong. And Gun Nut helps. I mean, you could... That's to me, I feel like that needs to be in every gun character. Because I like making my characters powerful, and this is definitely one of the, that's definitely one of those perks that definitely needs it. So yeah, next is science, because we're going to be using different types of weapons. I will talk about the different weapons we will use, so be on the lookout for that. Next, and science will be using different, like I mentioned before, we're not going to be using just ballistic weapons. We will also be using energy weapons, so that helps. Next is adamantium skeleton. I don't know about you guys, I always hate the fact that like my limbs get crippled a lot. In fact, even right now, I'm playing First Weapons Assassin character, and multiple times while trying to get the Pickman's blade, my character's limbs have been crippled multiple fucking times. So, yeah. So, and plus, I kind of wanted to go at the idea of like it being a tank without it being tanky, you know, in the sense of like it's powerful, but you'll still be able to lose health. You'll still be able to die. There aren't certain criteria to meet this, because I like powerful, but I don't like overpowered, you know. So yeah, next is cap collector, because this makes ammunition cheaper, which is good because we don't want to spend most of our caps for 10,000, or we don't want to get 100 caps to spend 10,000 caps on, or we don't want to get 100 ammunition to spend 1,000 caps on it. That's probably going to happen either way, but at least we will have more caps than usual without it. So, and I realized how useful this is once I started doing survival mode. I used one of French Tomahawk's survival mode character, and I realized that this is a lifesaver. Once I got Overseer's Guardian, I did his power. I'm doing his power armor character, which I need to restart. Because I don't know. I feel like I messed up on it somehow. So, plus I kind of want to go back and try some other stuff. But yeah, so yeah, cap collector really helps. Next is chemist, because this character is going to be using a lot of chems. Again, I like powerful, not overpowered. This character is going to be using a lot of chems, mostly Psycho and Jet, or Psycho Jet. So yeah, that'll really help. I'll go over armors and all that stuff in a moment. So yeah. Next is kind of the reason I kind of wanted, kind of one I kind of feel is interesting for a Commando character, and that is solar powered. Solar powered, let me just say right now, a lot of people say that it isn't worth it. I definitely think it is. Yes, the high endurance, especially with the high endurance, because it keeps it from being overpowered, you know? Like, if solar power was just level 1 endurance, we would all have low endurance, but just get solar powered. So definitely, with something like that, is definitely worth the intake. Yes, it may mess up your character in some way, having that high amounts of using that much freaking special points, But personally for me, I think it's worth it at the end of the day, because I find that overall, I find that I go through Radaway a lot, and since the first level is just +2 to strength and endurance from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the second level is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. you lose, or all your radiation damage is healed, and then on the third rank, it's your health is healed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I feel like with something like that, it is very useful to have, because you don't really use a lot of stim packs. I feel like the only time you ever really need a lot of you should ever use a lot of stim packs is if you're doing places like Quincy or whatnot, you know, or the Quincy ruins, stuff like that. I find to be pretty useful. So yeah, that is why solar powder's on here. Next is luck. Kind of like with charisma for one of the other perks I have. So yeah, next is chem resistant. Kind of obvious. So yeah, with this, I feel like maybe, since you do have the chemist perk, I do feel like maybe something like that is pretty useful. Because you are going to be definitely using a lot of chems, meaning once the chem supply is gone and over with, or once you start using those chems, you're going to want to be more resistant, so that way you can use them over and over. This is definitely one of those occasions. So yeah. Next is Bloody Mess, which I have it labeled as level 3, which basically means you'll be getting up to the 3rd rank and not the 4th rank. Because I find the 4th rank to be pretty useless. Certain enemies does some of the same effect, but I do find that not a lot of enemies are within close proximity to those to have that effect work. Plus, I don't give a shit about that. So yeah, Bloody Mess increases damage. I kind of wish that level 4 kind of increased or did the like splatter and then has the effect to it. Because otherwise, it just seems useless, you know. I feel like it also becomes harder to loot them. Maybe I think Bloody Mess is one of those effects that I haven't used yet for this, so I'll have to test it out and see. Yeah. Next is Lone Wanderer. If you guys check the description, you guys see I have this at level 30. A lot of you guys will be like, well, why do you have this early on? Or why don't you have this earlier on, like level 10 or 12, as opposed to why do you have it on level 30? And I'm going to tell you why. I'm a companion person all the way. I love my companions. I love using companions because I love that help. Alright? So I'm fine with using a Lone Wanderer, but I need it after level 30 and past, because that's when I usually blow up the Institute. I usually blow up the Institute around level 30, except if I'm with the Minutemen, then I always find a way to get it up to maybe not a high enough level, or I usually find out that by the time I've blown up the Institute, I'm getting to level 30. So I feel like something like that is pretty unnecessary to have early on. Especially, I want someone to help me, whether it be Piper, Nick, Deacon, whoever is fitting for this character, Dance or Kate. Even though I don't use Kate for the Brotherhood of Steel, I use Dance with mods, which is something I do want to talk about in a moment. So yeah, if you guys check the description, you guys will see that Lone Wanderer is level 30. So yeah, next is Perception, which kind of adds a perk point, or which kind of adds to my next one, which kind of leads me to here, Demolition Expert. Now this is one you don't really have to use. You can find replacements for one since you are close to the ending, or I'm close to the end of this list, as you guys can see. Let me do this properly. As you guys can see, I'm pretty close to the end of the list. So I feel like with something like this, this is something that, again, you don't have to have. I kind of ran out of ideas, and most of the stuff is very level specific. So sorry, I thought my family was back. No, it was just some fan. Oh God, I had Had a mini heart attack for a moment. Yeah, next and finally, I wanted Nerd Rage on here, but I figured this is close to the end of the game by the time you'd have this, so I figured not. And then Aquaboring Girl, but I don't have that. Next would be Rad Resistant. Now, again, this is what I have listed. I would definitely go through and I'll have to go through and pick out different perks, see which ones I have for what I don't have, so forgive me for that. So yeah, and then that's pretty much it. So yeah, so yeah. So the reason I made this character side the railroad. I say her because I have like this rule where female or like where Nora sides with the railroad and the Minutemen. That's it. She cannot blow up the Institute as under the Brotherhood of Steel or the Institute. It's just a weird thing I have from like New Vegas. It kind of keeps things simple, you know. Plus, it kind of keeps things balanced. I have 2 males, 2 females, you know. And then Nate works with the Institute and the Brotherhood of Steel. He can also work with the Railroad and the Minutemen, but he has to blow up the Institute or work with the Institute. But he has to blow up the Institute with the Brotherhood of Steel or just work with the Institute. It's just a weird thing. Keeps things simple for me. If you guys want to know why, it's just some New Vegas rule I had. So yeah. But I do feel like maybe for the weapon, for the armor of choice, you do use, it would be best to side with the Railroad because you use the Railroad Armored Trench Coat. Which you can easily find during the Battle for Bunker Hill, or once Glory dies, you can get a Mark III suit off of her. Which is also why I recommend sign with the Brothers of Steel or the Institute and not the Minutemen. Unless you want the Railroad to hate you, then by all means do so. But due to my reasoning as to why I don't side with the Minutemen, hopefully that you guys understand why. Don't ask why the pen is like this. It's a thing I feel like I know what I'm talking about when I fucking don't. So yeah. And the reason I could say you could side with the Brotherhood of Steel is because since this is a Commando character, maybe something like that kind of fits in with the Brotherhood. Plus, if you get the intelligence bobblehead, you have intelligence of 8. So the only thing you ever really need to do at that point is just put an extra perk point into science, and then you can get nuclear physicist, and then boom, you can do a power armor character. So yeah, something like that I do find is pretty interesting. So yeah, so the armor is gonna be sunglasses, bandana, and the Railroad Armor Trench Coat. I did kind of have this with the female in mind because again I do play female Railroad, or do use Nora for the Railroad. So once I properly do this character, I would definitely go back. Sorry about that. And I would definitely use I would definitely use Nora. But I did have this with the unladylike hairstyle in mind. If you play as a male, definitely kind of have a workaround for that. Kind of have something that looks like it, because I kind of like the whole side hair. Don't mind my hair. It's not to the sides. It's not to one side. It's all over my sides. Yeah. And kind of set up your hair, or kind of set up your face to make it look like that. If you guys want recommendations for bandanas, I personally recommend either the Skull and Bones, the Gunner's Green Camo, or Gunner's Green Bandana, Gunner's Green Camo Bandana, or if you guys are siding with either the Railroad or the Brotherhood of Steel, you can use the American flag or something like that. Don't ask for Railroad, it's just kind of something. But I'll leave bandanas up to you guys. Kind of work around with what you guys want. If you guys need sunglasses, you can find those at Backstreet Apparel. Very close to the beginning, up near the fashionable glasses, should you need the charisma for it. Companions, this doesn't have any. You could use dog meat. If you get all the bobbleheads, you'll have charisma of 4. So that means you can just put all that into attack dog and then go from there. But that's for you to decide. I don't like using dog meat a whole lot. I think he wanders all over the place and it kind of pisses me off. Just the fact he finds everything and he just stays there until you search that thing. Actually, I could probably put that close to the end. Although that does have 3 levels. I don't know. I'll figure something out. So yeah. And I can't. Oh yeah, weapons. So for starter weapons, you could use a submachine gun. You could use a submachine gun, pipe weapons, and laser weapons. That'll come in handy if you side with the Brotherhood of Steel, because you get Righteous Authority, even though the legendary skills do shit, don't do anything, considering the fact that you have a luck of 2 or 3. Also, if you get the luck bobblehead, you could easily put it into Mysterious Stranger. What I like about builds is that that's what I think is missing from builds, is they have set in stone reasons, but with these you can just kind of customize it however you want. As long as you follow the main things for this, just Commando, Fortune Finder, Scrounger, and everything else. If there's something you don't like, maybe close to the end of, or maybe in the mid-40s, you don't like it, just swap it out for other ones, whatever. But yeah, and I feel like this character works great if you do have all of the DLCs, or preferably Nuka World. So yeah, later game you will get a laser rifle. Either use the same one or use a different one. Plasma weapons. That's another reason why I recommend either siding with the Institute or the Railroad, because you work with those two. Because with those two you work with the Institute the longest than with the Brotherhood, because with the Brotherhood you kind of you can work with them, but you can work with the Institute, but it's only for like a short period of time, you know. So with that, but with the Railroad, it's very close to the end of whenever. It's very close to like properly siding with the Railroad or with the Institute. But instead of destroying the Institute, or instead of destroying the Railroad, you let the Railroad know what's up. I'm sorry, you have to give me a moment. Okay, car just passed. We're fine. So yeah, and with that, you could get Experiment 18A for this character. I think it's the only plasma weapon that I know of, so I recommend doing that. If there's other ones, definitely use that. You could use that, but for this purpose, I think Experiment 18A is the only found location. So yeah, definitely, I would say definitely use that. So yeah, and then handmade rifle. The handmade rifle is by far the greatest automatic weapon of all time. Very high damage, something like that. You could also use the combat rifle, but I do also recommend the radium rifle. Even though it does nothing against, I think it does nothing against ghouls, but it's pretty good if you're dealing with like legendary enemies and whatnot. Such as the legendary raiders. That's pretty much legendary gunners. That's pretty much it, because radiation doesn't affect like 90% of all the enemies in the game. So yeah. Yeah. With that being said, there was some other stuff I did want to mention. So this is the end of this build. If there's something else I can think of, check the comments section. Also check the description for everything. This character doesn't have a backstory at the moment. If there's one in the description, I'm sorry, but yeah, to basically role playing this is just as simple as how you would if you were signing with the Railroad, Brotherhood, Institute, and if you ask me, you kind of want to be the best. that, like, you want to be all for the group. I wouldn't say you necessarily have to fall in line with them, but like you have to. Well, I would say if you do want to be all out for them, or like be like fall in line with them, you can. That's kind of how I imagine it, because I'm kind of soft-hearted, so I kind of feel like stuff like that would definitely help. So yeah, and yeah, that is it. So yeah, so that's the end of this build. There's one thing I did want to mention before, which is I have thought about this for quite a while now. Would you guys like to see builds that are based around legendary effects? There aren't that many legendary effects that affect both armor and weapons, but there are a few. Let me say that there are a few that do match, like Vats Enhanced, Sentinel, I think staggering. If you guys do want to see those, then let me know. I'll be happy to do that. The only problem with that is that it'll use mods. I know for a fact that PS4 does have like a legendary crafting mod that you could use, but I don't know about Xbox One or the PC. So if they do have those, let me know if you guys want to see. If you guys do want to see that, I'll be more than happy to do so. Also, I did have plans to do kind of like a 3-main settlement build, where like you roleplay as a Diamond City guard, the Triggerman in Good Neighbor. Cool. And then like a Bunker Hill person. So if you guys come up with something, I do have ideas for a Diamond City one already, because I've tried it. Again, it's Commando, so I have a massive problem with that. But yeah, with that being said, let me know if that's something you guys want to see. I'll be more than happy to do so. If not, I'll kind of release one anyways, let you guys know, and so you guys can see if you guys do want that. I can't really think of anything else, so I'm trying to think what else. I have all these ideas for builds, but they're not going to come out because of my my mental state of just being like, I need steady supply of these weapons, or I just give up and I want to try something new. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see the legendary effects build, and also if you guys want. At this point, I might as well do Diamond City Guard and Good Neighbor, because I doubt Bunker Hill will have anything new. But, or maybe I could use that as like a Minutemen settlement builder. I'll figure something out. If you guys want to see those, let me know in the comments down below. Also, give me your ideas that I should try out for this character. Or for different Fallout 4 builds. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know, what did you change with this build? I'll be more than happy to try something out. If you changed all of it, then fine. fair enough. I don't blame you. But if you guys did change one or two things, or if you guys would change one or two things, let me know. I'll comment back, something like that. But yeah, other than that, that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell notification, because I do not have a schedule. Leave a like down below if you guys did enjoy this, and leave a comment of what you would change, what you did change, and if you guys do want to see those builds, because I kind of like making builds. And yeah, with that, anyways, sorry, losing Manic.